The story is told of a king who was sitting on his throne, meeting with his council of noblemen, advisors, and ministers of state, when all of a sudden there was loud banging at the door. All eyes turned as the door swung wide open and a boy ran into the room. One of the king's guardsmen tried to stop the boy from running in. "Hold on there, little one," he shouted. "You're disturbing the counsel of the king." The boy smiled and said, "He's your king, but he's my daddy." And the boy jumped into the wide open arms of his father, the king. May we never lose the wonder of being the beloved children of the King who have access into the throne room of God. Only when we enter heaven will we truly understand just how magnificent and glorious it is to enter the King's presence. The Apostle John had the awesome privilege of receiving a vision of God sitting on his throne in heaven. Look at Revelation 4, verse 1 and 2. "After this I looked, and behold, a door standing open in heaven, and the first voice which I had heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, 'Come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this.' At once I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne stood in heaven with one seated on the throne." Now, the "after this" in verse 1 is referring to the vision given of Jesus, his messages for 7 specific churches in Asia Minor, which we looked at in chapters 2 and 3. In the opening chapter of the book, in verse 19, Jesus said to John, "Write therefore the things that you have seen, those that are, and those that are to take place after this." John has received a vision of Jesus in chapter 1. That's the things that you have seen. Jesus gave the 7 churches the message in chapters 2 and 3. That's the those that are. And now Jesus is going to give a vision of future events in chapters 4 through 22. That's the those that are to take place. In preparation for the vision of future things, John receives a vision of God in chapter 4 as God the Creator who is holy. And then he'll receive a vision of Jesus in chapter 5 as Jesus the Redeemer who is worthy. Before John is to receive the vision of the people and places that are part of the future, he receives the vision. Perhaps as a reminder that what matters most about the future is the personhood of God. Heaven will be the throne room of God, where we will walk and worship perfectly with a holy God worthy of all of our worship. I believe our generation needs a fresh vision of who Jesus is and who God is. A reminder of how incredibly holy and glorious he is. Or else we will continue down the road of worshiping lesser things in our lives. Maybe this week of looking at the throne of God will recapture a wonder and awe of what it means to be chosen as children who have access to the Father's throne. Our closing benediction. May we come to God as children in love with their Father. May we slow down our lives enough to enter his presence each day. May God give us a renewed vision of who he is. Amen.